Bailey.
Hello, this is Aaron at Power Popaholic, and today I am honored to talk to Mr. George Usher, who has a new album out called Stevensonville. And George, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Aaron. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Tell me a little bit about Stevensonville, this brand new album that's coming out. I think it's unique in the fact that it basically goes through almost like a town of people, and it explains each person's like little quirks or hidden stories within that town. Where did you get the idea to come up with this for a theme for an album?
Well, it's sort of been done before in a number of ways.
Hmm.
The most obvious would be something literary like Spoon River uh, by Edward Lee Masters,
Hmm.
which is a book of poetry, and it's a lot of people in the graveyard. All the poems are people who have died and given
Right.
their last testament. And in this case, I take you through the town. It starts in one end of the Stevensonville and takes you through the town. Uh, People sing songs across the town to each other, and it takes you from one end to the other until you reach finally the other end of the town, and you finally have a guy who's willing to leave town, you know, ready to get out of town, which is part of it all,
Yeah, I think, as an artist yourself, in my opinion, I've followed you since pretty much since Dutch April, since that album.
Mhm.
But I really loved your music. And you're only person I know who, like, you've transitioned so well from what I would call like young man power pop into more like, like Neil Young, sort of like along those lines where the sound gets more mature, but also the themes get more mature. And you're not just, it's not just like in a lot of early power pop, young man power pop, I like to call it. They're all talking about like getting the girl, falling in love, that kind of thing. And once you reach a certain age, you sort of go beyond that and you talk about things that have a little bit more weight. And you've
Right.
definitely made that, yeah,
Well, I like to think that the music, the guitars can still rock out, but that
absolutely.
lyrically, you have to grow with it. You can't be, an older man singing about younger things anymore, And
Exactly.
in this case, the thing with Stevensonville is that it's actually an older work of mine. It's a project that I did back in the 90s. And
Wow.
that there were 12 paintings. There's a painting that goes with each song. So, there's a 28-page booklet that's included with the album. It's a big whole,
Nice.
it's a whole, it's like one of those old Kinks or Who's productions. You know what I
All
mean?
right, cool. We'll show some of those. So
Yeah, yeah,
people get an
exactly.
idea of what they're getting when they get the album, which is really nice. I thought it was a
Yeah.
really nice
Mhm.
touch. I also, some of these songs really stood out to me. I can tell you
Right.
my favorite song on the album, even though it's not my favorite person. I don't know if there is a favorite
Okay.
person. I really liked Jack Green and Benny
Right.
Weed. Benny Weed
Right.
was without a doubt that has the jangle. It's got the melody. It got me
Yeah.
into it.
Yeah.
As far as the song goes, even though the lyrics basically describe this terrible person.
No, no, Benny Weed's a good guy.
Yeah,
Benny Weed's a good guy. You mean the last song in the whole piece, Benny
yeah,
Weed.
yeah. Benny Weed. Yeah,
Okay, because he's getting out of town. He's getting
yeah.
out of town. So he's actually the a good sign for Stevensonville. And what was the other one?
Oh, the other was Jack Green.
Oh, Jack Green. Well, he's funny because if you were to see, he's singing sort of a pop reference because
Hmm.
there's an old Twilight Zone
Hmm.
where a guy's got a bomb shelter and people in the street are trying to get into his bomb shelter. Do you know that pop reference?
Yeah, I think so.
That old
Vaguely.
Twilight Zone? And the crowds are getting all mean and nasty because they can't get in the bomb shelter. And that's sort of what the song's about, except that in Stevensonville, nobody's trying to get into his stinking shelter because it's Stevensonville, you know what I mean?
Stevensonville.
And that's evident in the painting. And that's why the illustrations uh, both inform the songs and the songs inform the illustrations. It's a multimedia project that we've got here.
Yeah, I another song, and this is just striking to me, how bleak and dissonant it was Judge John Bailey.
Right, right.
Wow, I mean that's sort of almost like I felt like some of this could have fit into that show Severance, if you know that show.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
It just starts out with with a lot of dissonant sounds, and then just gets very deep and very
Well,
almost
it's that the way we worked. All we had, we went into the studio and all we had was a Bowery Poetry Club performance that I had done
mhm.
solo. That was the demo. And
Wow.
Tony Shanahan put a band together, and we went in and we hung the paintings up in the studio. Each time we do a song for whichever character we were doing, and for the judge, we hung up the character, and all we had was just the basic song.
Hmm.
But we knew that we were trying to paint a certain melancholy, depressing, as you say, sound for what the lyrics were putting across and what we wanted to do. The whole project was put together in a with a wonderful creative team.
Yeah, no, I do you have a character that you kind of like? Do you have a favorite character among the group here?
Well, my favorite character is probably Mitch Kunkel.
Okay.
He's the guy with the flat top, the guy who kind of just rifles money from the mother's drawer and from the Judge Bailey's daughter, and he's off to he's just a scoundrel, but he's just sort of this overweight, uh, obnoxious. There's just something about him though that I find humorous. That he's relatively harmless, but at the end of the day, he's just a rogue and a scoundrel.
Right. No, no, those are tend to be the interesting characters. I think honestly
Yeah.
the women in the town get the short end of the shit. They're all it's also it's kind of, sad the way their songs go,
Well, yeah,
both yeah, Annie Dunn and Marjorie
And
Hayes.
Marjorie. But Marjorie gets her comeuppance. That's the thing. She was sort of a real person. She was sort of, there were jokes about the church ladies, but she was a mean one
Hmm.
that I came across and wrote about early. And then at the end of the day, that's all she gets.
So,
she,
well,
she,
now
she,
that you now that you brought it up, I want to know how many are these all based on real people you knew or composites?
No, no, there's not really. There's sort of weird composites of some people I knew, some people I heard about. The I'll tell you, it was just sort of such a lot of at the time when the original work was done back in the 90s. The
Hmm.
idea was really just to entertain people. Because I was doing shows in New York with Lori, where I would do the music and she would do the art next to me. And it
Right.
just became impossible to sort of hold together and to put out an album like this. And so the idea really was just to sort of dazzle everybody with, something that nobody else was doing
Right.
live wise. And, uh, and so I just had a lot of fun throwing in all kinds of different little things. So you could toss in a little bit of Dylan Thomas under Milkwood with a little bit of Ray Davies,
Right.
Village Green preservation, you
Yeah.
know.
No, I hear a little bit of that in there as well,
Mm.
especially a little bit of Village Green in across the album, which is
Oh
really
yeah,
nice.
oh
And
yeah.
I was wondering also, out of the crew that you got to do this, would how would you promote this? Would you ever promote this live or sing a song acoustic?
Well, yeah, I'm doing a record release show at March 21st at the 503 Social Club, Jim Mastro's place out in Hoboken. We're doing a record release show. I'm just going to do a show with Mark Sidgwick, my longtime accompanist and musical partner, and he's on this album. And it's just going to be the two of us at this point, unless something else happens and we get, you never know what could happen. But
That's true.
Mark and I will be performing the whole thing, and
Very
a couple of
nice.
George Usher classics, whatever those such things are. I don't know,
There are plenty up there. I would encourage
but
anyone.
yeah. Go
I would
ahead.
encourage everyone who does not know George's work to go to Bandcamp and look at the retrospective that he has up there, which covers a lot of his career. And download this, and buy this and download and check it out, because he's prolific, in my opinion, a real great power pop artist, and a real great pop artist who's, like I said, who has morphed from the younger years into the older years almost seamlessly, without any loss of quality, in my opinion, as
Thank
far as
you.
songwriting goes, without a doubt. And if is there a message overall for the theme of the album that you want fans to sort of recognize?
Uh, it's an old message, but it's there at the end. It's break free and do what you want.
That's
That's
great.
really the end of it, because it's Stevensonville is a nice place to pass through, but at the end of the day, you got to break through and break free and do what you want.
Awesome, awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, George. I appreciate the time for this interview, and
Oh, thanks.
we encourage people to get Stevensville, show up at the records at the opening, check out those big paintings, as well
Yeah.
as pick up the album. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Aaron.
All right, take
All
care
right.
then. Bye.
Bye bye.